coming up next in the heavyweight division, we have Shamil Gaziev taking on Martin Buday. Buday is 4-0 in the UFC following his 2021 bout in the Dana White Contender Series. He really uses his body weight in his fights, and he presses forward on you, which makes for a really grindy fight in the heavyweight division where you're kind of used to guys just slugging and putting one another's lights out. Gaziev, on the other hand, I find it quite interesting. So also a Dana White Contender Series alum. He got his Dana White Contender Series then UFC contract in August, I believe, and now is getting a top 20 heavyweight fight right after. So, Rick, I guess my question here is this guy's getting the Bo Nickel privilege we thought Bo Nickel was going to get in a much less deep middleweight division. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know how he's going straight into the top 20 of the division, but anywho, I think that Gaziev, with him, it's going to be if he can get the takedown. Because once he gets the takedown, he keeps you down. He packs power, but he also gets and he can also knock you over. But I mean, I think he can also get knocked over. So he's going to gas out after that first round, and that's why I lean Buday here. But want to hear more what you think about this one, because for me, this is probably the least interesting fight on the card, if I have to say so myself. There's a lot more on there that make up the rest of the card that I'm way more excited to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. This is the fight that I was referencing at the very beginning when I was saying, there's a couple fights when right when you look at it a little bit deeper, it's not as good, and this is that one. I mean, they're combined 24-1, but by no means are these good fighters that will ever challenge for the title. Both are starting to age as well. With I think both being 32, Buday being 32 and Gaziev being 33, but neither really wow you. Gaziev does not move his head at all, and he's got low cardio. He doesn't move his head at all, but he also keeps his hands down. So not like 30 seconds in the fight when he's tired. No, he keeps his hands down from the start, and he moves forward with his head on the center line. And somehow I think that Buday might not be the heavyweight to be able to catch him there. Because Buday just doesn't throw with a bunch of power behind it for a heavyweight. It's more volume, it's more leaning on you, and just being able to just tire the opponent out. And that's exactly what he did against Jake Collier in their fight. He lost the first round, had some success there, but lost the first round. And then the second round, he really got it going with the clinch, with knees in the middle to Collier that really started to damage him and exhaust him. And that's how I see him winning if he beats Gaziev. Gaziev is just going to march forward and try to either take him down, like you said, and implement that ground and pound, which I think is his best weapon, is that ground and pound from top control. He's great at putting his weight on guys and just not allowing them to move at all. But even on that regional scene, when he fought, blanking on his first name, but Stosic, he looked gigantic in that fight. But the issue was he got dropped 90 seconds into that fight because he didn't move his head. He got hit with a clean left hook, dropped. He did well to get back up and clinch to recover. And they ended up knocking him out with a clean uppercut up the middle. But there's so many red flags when it comes to Gaziev defensively that I have trouble backing him against an established UFC fighter that's fought not amazing fighters, but respectable fighters, Chris Barnett, Lucas Brzeski, which that fight was a weird fight. That was an odd fight. But Jake Collier, and then he finished Josh Parisian last fight to go 4-0 in the UFC. And is really impressed in that regard. And he's got his own offensive wrestling to go with that clinch work. So he could be the one to maybe reverse a takedown and be able to get on top and do some weight that way. But
I agree with you. The names aren't like super impressive, but they are names. And I think like to your point, or I guess to what we've said about the heavyweight division here, like the heavyweight division, the depth of it has kind of sucked where there's not been a ton of great guys. Like if you are worth a damn in one area of mixed martial arts that you can absolutely excel in, then you are going to rise up the ranks really quick in heavyweight. But to your point, like, yes, the quality of those guys aren't great, but that's kind of what heavyweight is. Like, I don't know who else he could really get that early on unless he's getting gifted a top 20 fight in his first one like Gaziev. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, to your point, too, about like the fighters at heavyweight that need to have that one skill that is just so dominant compared to others. Like, this is the one weight class where if you are just an amazing striker or an elite grappler like Jailton Almeida, like you can really start to ascend because other guys either gas out or they don't have the technical ability. Like, Martin Buday's talent is almost his cardio and just like pressure, almost like an Andrei Arlovsky type way where he's just going to continue just to wear on you and be there. He's just going to be durable. You're not going to shut his lights out. He's just going to continue to be right in front of your face until you just can't take it anymore. And I mean, he could very easily do that to Shamil Gaziev, who did not wow me on the scene. And that's why I've got Buday in this fight. I'm not putting a bet on this fight. I'll probably will right before the fight, but I'm not going to endorse it and lose a unit or two. Absolutely not. Where are you going, Andy?
Yeah, we are on the exact same page. I feel like Buday has the experience. I also think he's going to apply that pressure on Gaziev and make this big Bahrainian boy crumble. So give me Buday, however the hell you say it. I will probably be either getting food or grabbing a drink during this one, but at least I'll catch the second and third round, unless it ends in the first. I'm not super excited for this one, but definitely a good fight to gear up for the rest of them. Because coming up next, Rick, we've got Andre Touchy-Feely taking on Lucas Almeida at featherweight, which seems to be an electric one. Keep it locked in with us as we continue on with our preview of UFC 296.